There we go. I hit the button, Deb. We're live.
The button?
I've done the button. You're live right now.
Oh, hello, everybody.
Say hi. Hi, everyone.
So bear with me today.
Welcome to Facebook Live, Deb. Welcome to Coffee and Conversation.
Thank you. Good to be here. I got my coffee.
Oh, good. Excellent. I can see you've got your coffee. Actually, we were just talking about, obviously I'm in the club today. You can see the beautiful logo behind me, doing a little bit of work. And the problem is that because we're currently not open, we don't have any milk. So
Wow.
I've gone black coffee today.
Glad I'm not there because you know how much I love my coffee and I need that milk.
Yes.
Especially after a few hours of work and training, I need that coffee with milk.
And given that I don't normally drink black coffee, this could go anywhere.
Yeah, great. Looking forward to it.
So there's a couple of rules of engagement that I need to warn you about.
Okay.
And I'm going to surprise you with this. And that's what I was teeing up before we went live. So in the last two broadcasts, for whatever reason, I've suddenly dropped out of the broadcast.
Okay.
And left whomever I was interviewing the last two times, was Kirsty and Suad, left them hanging all by themselves.
Okay, so this could potentially happen.
It could potentially happen. It could. But the rule is that if I drop out of the broadcast, you need to sing a little song.
Oh, no.
So I thought I'd replay Kirsty's song from last time for you. Yeah, so here it is.
Oh, it's time to sing a song. Yeah. Oh, what song can I sing? So we've lost Corinne. Maybe we should come up with a jingle. Corinne, she's our girl. If she can't do it, no one, Corinne.
So that's what you're up against.
Love it. That's good.
If I drop out of the broadcast, it's now a rule that you have to sing a song about me.
Okay, all right. Well, I've got good things to say about you, so we'll see what happens.
Great. That all actually transpired because we were wanting a jingle for our coffee and conversation section.
Right, yep.
So we did invite someone to create a jingle for coffee and conversation, and that was Kirsty's attempt at creating a jingle. So let's see if you can do better than that.
Well, we'll find out. I'm sure we'll find out.
Fingers crossed I don't drop out today.
Yes, please.
Now, as live broadcasts go, of course, during a live broadcast, I have a security guard at the front door wanting to give me something. Did you see my hand signals saying, no?
I just saw that. I'm like, what is she doing? What's this?
Yeah, so please excuse that. Let's get into this. So today's coffee and conversation is a little bit different. It's got a little bit of a different vibe, and we've called it Personal Fitness Philosophies, because you and I are just going to have a bit of a chat about our personal beliefs about health and fitness and what we do and what we try to implement. So it's really, I guess, just a sharing session about ourselves, which is almost a little bit scary.
Sharing conversation? Yeah,
absolutely. So we should probably kick it off by introducing you, because you haven't been to Coffee and Conversation before. So tell everyone who you are, what you do in the club, what your qualifications are. Let's get this started.
Okay, so I'm Deb Kitto, and I really like saying that because I've just been married in isolation period. So I haven't really said my name out loud too often because I've been isolated since I've been married.
Yeah.
But I am Deb Kitto, and I am a personal trainer here at Fernwood Campbelltown. I am the personal trainer team leader, and I have an awesome bunch of girls. So lucky to have the girls that we have on board from all different backgrounds, and we all learn and grow together. So team leading, personal training is what I love. I started it at Fernwood about 2012, so about 8 years now, or just over 8 years. I did have very humble beginnings. I started just on reception when I was qualified, and then I did do some indoor cycling as well. So qualified indoor cycling instructor, which Corinne doesn't let me forget, but
Never.
It was quite a while ago.
And I will get you back on the bike, I swear.
Oh, well, one day, it's a cameo, sneaky one. But yeah, loved it. Fell in love with Fernwood at the beginning. And I'm glad they must have liked me too, because I started working after work placement. Gradually from there, got Cert 3, Cert 4 in fitness, a few other little qualifications along the way. And yeah, absolutely love hanging out with you girls.
Yes. And that's probably something that is of quite an interesting point about you, is that you're a Corona bride. I don't know if that's what you call it.
I totally am. We even brought the wedding forward for anybody who needs an update. We brought the wedding forward, and we got married with a wedding of 5 in my own home, Corona bride, and it turned out absolutely beautiful. So we're very happy.
We did see the photos, and you did look absolutely beautiful. So, and as I said at the time, it's a story to pass down through the generations, right? That you were a Corona bride.
Yes, it was definitely an interesting moment in time.
Yeah. So for those of you who are tuning into Coffee and Conversation for the first time, that was Deb's intro. If you don't know me, my name is Corinne Phillips. I'm the team leader for membership and group fitness in the club. And I do a few different classes, spin or cycle, whatever you want to call it, indoor cycling, MetaFit, Strong by Zumba, Animal Flow, what else? Les Mills Bar. So I've got a few qualifications floating around. But that is us. So let's kick it off with, I mean, you did say a little bit about how you began in fitness. So you started on reception, and then you did your certificate 3 and 4. But I guess what we really want to knuckle down on now is, what was the sort of the moment where you decided that, or was there a particular moment that you decided that fitness was where you want to be and you wanted to make a career out of it?
I would say yes, definitely there was a moment where I decided to begin studying fitness and get into fitness. So previous to being in fitness, I was a stay-at-home mum for about 8 years, raising 2 little girls. And then there was a moment in time where life turned on its head. And I found myself that I was a solo mum of a little 3 and 6-year-old, and I had to power through life. I had to hold everything together. I had to hold myself together. And one of those ways was going to the gym and having that regular routine, going to the gym, getting the fitness, getting the endorphins going, feeling better about myself, getting stronger. And in doing that, I found how much that I loved it and how much I needed it for my life. At that time, I was about 30, so I'm showing my age now. But so I was about 30 and really wanted to know, what do I really want to do? Because I wanted to do something that I loved. And that was what I loved. And then I wanted to show that to other women, which is why I'm at Fernwood Women's Gym. So from there, decided, okay, this is what I'm going to study. Started studying it, and yeah, and then gradually made my way over to Fernwood, and they loved me and I loved them, and it all goes forward from there.
But I think that's one of the things about everyone who works, particularly at Fernwood, is that we can all sort of describe a defining moment where we thought, this is what I want to do. And for me, I guess, look, I had been pretty active my entire life. I can remember holding my first gym membership at 18 and then consistently having gym memberships right throughout up until I was married and pregnant with my first. But it wasn't until after I'd had my second baby that I really thought, yeah, there's really something in this fitness thing. And I was actually a member here. You guys know I was a member here at Fernwood Campbelltown before I started working here. And the real defining moment for me in terms of fitness and understanding its place within my own life and then wanting to carry that forward to other people was with a trainer. And I hope she's actually watching, because I don't think I've ever actually told her this story. A trainer named Annette. Now, you would know Annette. Yes. So Annette was one of our beautiful personal trainers here. And I remember at the time, also a lot of people would know that I was training to enter the fire brigade, so New South Wales Fire and Rescue. So that's why I became a member at Fernwood Campbelltown, because I was training to become a member of New South Wales Fire and Rescue. That's a whole nother story. Anyway, that's what I was training to do. And I remember I went for my first physical aptitude test with the fire and rescue, and I actually failed the first time I went through.
It's tough.
It was tough. And at that time, it was the old physical aptitude where you had to do like a 9.6 on the beep test. And it wasn't a replicated physical like it is now. You were actually having to, pull the hoses, do the tower, lift ladders, like you were doing the actual real stuff. So, and I'd only been training for about 12 months for it from scratch. So I probably, in all fairness, I probably wasn't ready for it, and I failed the first time. And I remember coming back to the club and Annette saying to me, "Oh, how did you go? How did you go?" I said, "No, I failed." I said, "I was too small. I'm too small. I am too small for this." And when I got to the test, I was like with 6 foot tall guys. Yeah. And even the girls who attended that day, they were tall girls. And I was this tiny, I'm not the biggest person ever. Like, you're little, but I'm not the biggest person
You're
ever.
Tiny.
Yeah. And I said to her, "I'm just too small." And Annette turned around to me that day and she said to me, "You can be small, but you can be strong."
That's it. Yeah.
And from that point on, I was like, right, okay, point taken. And you know what? She never actually trained me. I did her classes and things, but she never actually trained me. But it was that moment that I understood what it was all about. And from there, I did some of the grittiest and dirtiest training that I've ever done in my life. Obviously, I'm not in the fire brigade. That's another story why I went down this path. But it was that point where I learned, okay, this is what it's about. And yes, I can do this. And I wanted to give that moment to someone else.
Yeah,
I wanted to be, that point where 3 or 4 words can change someone's entire concept of themselves and change their entire life path. So that was probably the moment for me where I was like, yeah, this is it.
I love that. That is the best.
And I think that's the thing. Like, we both just described those moments where we knew that the way that someone made us feel, we wanted to pass that down the line.
Definitely.
Yeah. So let's get into the philosophy side of things. And let's just preface it by saying that these are our personal standpoints.
Yeah.
By no means is it, a golden rule or a documented scientific theory. It's just what we personally believe from our own personal experiences. So let's talk about nutrition first. No, let's not. Let's talk about exercise first.
Okay.
What are your personal philosophies around exercise, workouts, movement, whatever you want to call it? What's your personal philosophy?
With exercise, it's a daily movement of such. So it can range from high intensity, low intensity, or active recovery. So I was thinking a bit about it. And for me, exercise and movement is a lot to do with balance, balancing your life, balancing your workouts, and organization. So there's a life balance. As you know, as women, we're busy, we're at work, we've got our families, you may have your own business, we've got kids. So it's a life balance, juggling all those things. And just like exercise, you got to juggle your workouts. So you want to, for myself, I love to include my cardiovascular fitness. These days it's outdoor running, which is new. I did do a bit of running previously indoor. But now with the isolation, getting that daily walk outside. So fresh air, walking outside, increasing the speed, and getting the running happening as well, and increasing the distance. With that as well, it's with progression. So I didn't just go, okay, I'm going to start with 10 kilometers. I did start slowly. Imagine that. You would have heard the complaining.
What? Trainers complain? We never complain.
No. Everything's always, on point. But yeah, starting slowly, balancing those days. So having one day a week where I do that longer, faster run, and then other easier days at that moderate intensity, and a low intensity day or recreational day with the family. Definitely including for myself some strength training. So all women, it's so important to include your strength training. For me, that's 3 to 4 days a week. If it's 3 days, I try to get 3 full body days with rest days in between. But just that daily movement is highly important for exercise and for the body. Yeah.
Excellent. And I guess for me, similar sort of a philosophy. But I think it comes from a slightly different place. So I've done all sorts of training in my time. I've
Yes.
done some like weird, gritty, dirty training. I've done powerlifting. I've done, you name it. I used to be a dancer. We had a bit of a dance party Friday night. I used to be a dancer. So I've done all sorts of different types of training. But the older I get, the more my philosophy has become about, and I described it to Kirsty last week, about being a chameleon, what I call a chameleon of fitness. So being able to blend into any style of training or workouts. And I think there's a couple of reasons that I like this theory of being a chameleon of fitness. One is so that, yes, what you've described, you get that balance between cardiovascular fitness, strength training, flexibility, mobility. So if you can be as comfortable in a cardio class as you are on the gym floor, as you are in a yoga class, as you are running outside, then you're more likely to have a balance of fitness.
That's right.
My greatest concern is when, and we talked about it last week, my greatest concern is when people say to me, oh, I don't do cardio. I just do strength training. And that's great. It's still, and it's obviously encouraged. We would still encourage you. Yes, that is movement. And yes, you are exercising. But are you finding balance? So, are you getting cardiovascular fitness? And I think the older I get, the more I understand that I need all of the facets of fitness. I don't just need to have a great cardiovascular system. I also need great bone density, muscle mass, flexibility, all of those things, so that in 20 years' time, I can say, yeah, I'm fit and I'm mobile. So, I guess if I was to name my overarching philosophy about fitness, it's about being a chameleon. It's not, about, being able to blend into like that, wherever you're thrown in. So I've been able to get myself to the point where I'm as comfortable in a Fit 30 session as I am doing a PT with you, as I am doing a yoga session or a Pilates session or anything else.
Your animal moves with your animal flow.
Animal flow, yeah. And it's not to say that I enjoy all of them equally. Of course, I still have favorites, but my philosophy is definitely to become that chameleon. So then when you can't run, so say, for example, like in this situation now where we're in COVID, obviously, the gym's closed. If I wasn't adaptable and I wasn't that chameleon, I'd be lost, right?
Yeah. You'd be missing out.
You'd be absolutely lost. And you'd be sitting at home saying, oh, well, I can't go and do outdoor training because that's not what I do. Which, given that what are we now, 7 weeks in, 6 weeks in?
A while, I don't know. I've lost count.
We wouldn't be in a good place, that's for sure. That's for sure. So talk to me about your overarching philosophy about nutrition. Do you have one?
Well, nutrition is, again, I bring it back to balance, a balance of everything, moderation and healthy eating. So for me, I'm absolutely loving veggies and eating the color of the rainbow. So
you have some of the freshest meals I've ever seen in my life.
I love my veggies, and it's either like Mediterranean style with the capsicum and the eggplant, zucchini, or this week, tonight, we're going to be having the pumpkin, the sweet potato, broccoli. So just eating lots and lots of colors, lots and lots of veggies. Healthy, balanced meals throughout the entire week. You can have your little snacks and your little sweets here and there. They're your little treats, but very small amounts and not as often as everything else. Also including, like your lean proteins, mixing that up, and loving salmon at the moment as well. So fresh salmon, having that once or twice a week, and healthy fats. I think a lot of people, when they start thinking about healthy eating, they forget about the healthy fats. That they can have the avocados and the cashew nuts and all these yummy healthy fats that bring that balance to our body, and it's highly important nutrients for our body as well. I think at the moment our favorite meal in the household is our chicken and cashew stir fry. Yes, we chuck all the veggies in first, and then fry up the chicken, handful of cashew nuts at the end, serve with some brown rice. And that daily eating is, my overall philosophy, I guess, that balance and the colours of the rainbow.
Do you calorie count?
I don't calorie count.
Yeah.
I am one of those people that hasn't calorie counted. I just go for not small portion size, but what I feel my body needs. And if I don't eat, if I miss something, I will know at 10 o'clock at night that I've missed my protein, because I will get the munchies and I will want to snack on things that are not good. So I've just listened to my body over the years and stayed consistent with the portion sizes.
And I think that's the thing, when you can control your portion sizes and you are physically active frequently and you've got all that balance in place, calorie counting becomes, I guess, less important. Is there anything that you say is off limits? Like, I do not eat something.
Ooh.
Is there anything
Like
off
ever?
limits? Ever. Is there anything that you would never let cross your mouth?
Oh.
Aside from
Besides
aside
what?
from like uncooked things or just vile things.
Yeah. I couldn't say I would never eat them. I would limit them.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing I would never eat, because I think if it's a one-off thing once a year, it's not going to hurt me. So I wouldn't say there's anything fully off limits besides something that I don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I'm probably the same. Look, we've just had a comment. The beautiful Jane, who's been joining us for some workouts online, she's just said tripe. Yuck.
Oh, yeah, anything I don't like.
Yeah, we agree. No tripe. I guess my overarching philosophy with nutrition is exactly that nothing is off limits. Mm-hmm. So if I tell myself I can't have, chances are I'm going to want it.
That's it.
And I'm going to want a lot of it. So if I was to say to myself, oh, I can't have chocolate, or I can't have coffee, or I can't have, there's a switch in my brain that just goes, you know what? I really want it, because you're telling me I can't have it.
That's right. Yeah.
So I am very similar in that I don't say I can't have anything, but I make the best choices I can in the situation that I'm in.
Yeah,
so whether it's at home with the kids or whether it's out to dinner or wherever I am, I make the best choice that I can in that situation. So it means that, yes, we eat things at home like, say, pies, for example, chicken and vegetable pie, for example. That's not off the menu at my house. But it does mean that if we're going to have chicken and vegetable pie, I try to make it from scratch.
Yeah, nice.
So that's the best choice that I can possibly make, because then I can control what's going into the pastry. I can control what's going into the filling. I know exactly how much sodium's in there, how much fat's in there, what type of chicken I've used, how much vegetables in there. Yeah. So nothing's off limits, but I make the best choice and the best informed choice that I can at the time. It also means things like lunchbox treats, for example. So I've got two very hungry boys, 11 and 13. They eat us out of house and home. At the moment, I'm like,
not too bad.
Seriously, eat us out of house and home. So when we're looking at recess or lunchbox stuff, again, I make the best choice that I possibly can for them as well. So instead of going out and buying muesli bars, cakes, whatever, we make at home. So then I can control whether I'm using wholemeal flour in a cake and coconut sugar, or it's highly processed white flour and white sugar.
Yeah.
So nothing's off limits. Make the best choices that we possibly can.
Yeah. And I love that. That's, you've got your control for majority of the time, and you're saying, okay, I'm healthy baking this, healthy baking that. Yeah. And then you can just add in those little treats here and there. They're not completely off, but it's all balanced over.
Yeah, and it means that when we want to have a piece of chocolate, or when we're out and we want to have a burger and some ice cream, it's completely balanced. Heaven forbid would I ever eat a burger and ice cream? Hell yes. Yes, I would, because I've made in the balance, and I've made those choices from Monday to Friday, which are the best choices I can possibly make, which means that if once a month, once however I want to have a burger, I'll have a burger.
You can, and enjoy.
And then we can have burgers at home too, because I'll do it on a wholemeal bun with patties that have been made from scratch. I know what's in them.
Got your salad in there.
Got the salad in there. And you know, when you make beetroot, pineapple.
Yes.
Very important. And when you make your own burger patties, you can veggie load them, right? So we're grating carrots, we're grating zucchini into there, we're putting chopped up mushrooms. Like, you have so much more control if you make everything yourself.
Definitely. Yes.
We've probably shocked people now, because we're like, oh no, we're not calorie counting. We're just eating. But
it does have its place. It does have its place.
It absolutely has its place. And obviously, if your fitness goals are different, if you are, have a weight loss fitness goal, if you have something specific like, trying to gain muscle mass, all those sorts of things, then your overarching approach to nutrition would be different. But what we're talking about is healthy balance. Yeah. Erin has just replied to us and said, yes, pineapple to the burger. Yes, Erin. She's on team pineapple. Oh, here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Yes, of course it does.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And if the kids pick any off, then I'll have those as well.
Yes. Do you guys make your own pizza?
We do, yes.
Yes. And one of my favorite ways to minimize the amount of fat on homemade pizzas is to replace a lot of the, that 3 pizza cheese that they sell in those packets.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't use that one. So bocconcini.
Yes, love.
Yes. And then you can reduce all the other really fatty cheeses on them, right?
Sorry, you broke up a second there.
Sorry, then you can reduce all the other really sort of fatty cheeses.
That's right, yes. Yeah. And you can also make an awesome salad with the bocconcini. Tomato, basil, bocconcini, balsamic vinegar, one of my favorites.
Deb is the salad queen.
Love it.
All right, lastly, let's talk about general wellness. And again, I think we probably need to preface this conversation with, this is not specific advice. It's not medical advice. It's our own personal beliefs around general wellness. Do you have a philosophy around wellness?
Wellness all round for myself would involve a few key things, and I have a few daily tips that I do myself. So daily number 1 is getting that sunshine. So fresh air, sunshine, important for my wellness. As we've already discussed, healthy eating and daily movement, but also recovery, rest, and self-care. They're so important for me. So for me, recoveries are active recovery sessions, whether it be foam rolling. Shout out to all the foam rolling girls.
Yes.
I'm seeing you on Tuesday mornings, coffee and foam rolling. Well, they usually do foam rolling, then coffee.
So it's like foam rolling and then coffee and conversation.
That's it, yeah. So that's our normal Tuesday morning. So I'm missing you. But activities such as foam rolling or just going for that easy walk or getting to the ocean, just things that are going to soothe my soul. Some other me time activities for myself are having that Epsom salt bath with lavender essential oils, magnesium bath, good recovery, bubbling away there, relaxing the body, deep breathing as well. So that's highly important, especially for reducing stress, reducing anxiety, especially in the moment. If you're highly stressed, you can stop, slow breathing for 4 seconds in, hold, 4 seconds out, hold. It's called square breathing. So deep breathing, deep meditation, relaxation, so important for wellness and bringing the body out of that highly stressed state back into more of your own center. With that as well, I had another point on that one. So I do sunshine. Are you doing some breathing now, Corinne, or are you just paused?
Yes.
Oh, I think she might be for me.
No, I'm not.
I've got your eyes on. Okay, I've got. Oh, there you are. You were paused on my screen with your eyes shut. I'm like, is she meditating right now?
Jack, freak you out. Did you think you were going to have to sing a little song?
I thought I was going to have to sing. I was like, oh no.
I should just purposely drop out so that you do have to sing that song. I'm sure everyone would love it.
Corinne, you are a good instructor. I'm so sorry, everybody.
Yeah, maybe Deb's next career is not in the vocal world.
No, definitely.
So I guess
training.
if your next point comes back to you, please interrupt me. But I guess in terms of wellness for me, and I think I've described this before. For me, wellness is very different to fitness, right? They're two very different things, because you can be physically fit, but you might not be well.
Definitely.
So I think wellness encompasses so much more than being physically fit. It's more than just the physical elements of the body. You've got your emotional state in there. You've got all sorts of things going on in regards to wellness. So a lot of the things that you just described are the things that I find help me in my wellness as well. So a little while ago, for a long time, I couldn't understand why, when I was feeling highly strung, and I'm not afraid to admit that as a young girl, so probably from the age of, it probably start to surface when I was probably about 14, right through until the age I was 19. I was suffering with depression and anxiety during those years, but was undiagnosed until I was about 19. So at the age of 19, I was diagnosed with clinical depression, anxiety, with obsessive compulsive tendencies as well. So it had gone undiagnosed for a very long time. And although my family were very aware that I was a very highly strung teenager and I was putting a lot of performance pressure on myself, it wasn't until I reached university that I had a full-blown episode and was formally diagnosed. And throughout my treatment during that time, it wasn't until I got a little bit older that I realized I had these real cravings to be outdoors. And I've never been I'm not a nature hater, but I never was a real sort of nature lover. I wasn't that, girl that was at the beach or doing all that sort of stuff. But there was some really weird things. I would crave to be outdoors. I would crave to be outside with my shoes off. I always wanted to take my shoes off on the grass. And it wasn't until years later that I discovered that there's a theory around grounding. And here I go on one of my tangents now. So just come with me on this one.
So you'll break up a little bit there too. So I'm just trying to hear you.
It must be on your end, because I think I'm okay on my end. Maybe if someone's watching, if they can say that give us a thumbs up to say that we're all okay. But I came across a theory called grounding theory, which basically indicates that when the human race started to wear shoes with rubber soles is when a lot of health issues started to arise, because the static electricity in the body was no longer grounding to the earth.
Wow, yeah, wow.
Now, I don't believe that I don't know whether this is a proven theory or not, but I found it intriguing because when I was not well, so when I was suffering very badly with, depression, anxiety, all those sorts of things, I was craving that barefoot connection to the earth.
Yeah, wow.
And since I made that connection, that's one of the things that I find for me in terms of wellness. Outside, shoes off, connection to the earth is one of the big things for me. This feels good.
Are you walking when you do that? Or you just
doesn't matter. I could be just standing. Sometimes I might just take the shoes off and go and stand on the grass out the back for a moment.
Yep.
I'm like, that felt nice. Sunshine on the face, feet on the earth. That feels really good. Other times it might not be a grounding process for me, so it might be shoes on, but you guys know I love my cycling, right? Yep. So it might be an outdoor cycle, but just being outdoors makes a massive difference for me in terms of my wellness. So I guess, the thing is for me, wellness is different from fitness. and it's a very personal thing as to what makes you feel well. Movement comes into it a lot. I have to move my body for me to feel well.
Yes.
I have to have some kind of connection to the outdoors, which for us in our industry is quite difficult sometimes.
In the gym.
Yes, a connection to the outdoors, some kind of sunlight, and then also just a connection to human beings. Yes,
that was my last point, Corinne.
Hey, we got there.
Friends community.
Yes. And I have quite a really close-knit family, so connection to them is really important. But throughout this whole sort of COVID situation, I've realised how much connection to the bigger community is important as well. Because we really are like a little family here at Fernwood. I spend more time with you girls than I do my family.
That's right.
So
connection. All my personal training clients, the members there. I think at the beginning I was talking my kids' ear off because I'm used to talking from like 9 to 12 continuously, and I was just like, and they're like, "Wow, do you talk like this much all the time?" I'm like, "Actually, yeah, I do."
Yeah,
so
it's funny.
Everybody.
During my Zoom session yesterday, I had a Zoom session yesterday morning for flow, for mobility and stretch. And at one point, because the participants go on to mute, right? And at one point, I was, and I said to them, "Am I talking a lot? Because I'm getting really thirsty." And I can hear from the background my husband say, "Yes." I'm like, okay, I'm talking a lot. But yeah, that connection is so important for wellness. And it doesn't matter where it comes from. It doesn't matter whether it's your family, your friends, who it is, but I feel like, human connection is what, really, really, really important for wellness.
Yes.
Oh, look, Jane's given us a thumbs up to say that our sound is good. So appreciate that, Jane. Thank you. And Erin's just shooting through a couple of messages too to say that she's missing everyone at the gym. And
yes, we miss you.
Yeah, we are definitely missing everyone. Did you have anything else that you wanted to share in particular?
Not off the top of my head, no. Just that I am really missing everybody. I cannot wait for the doors to be open one day and that connection to happen again.
Yes.
Just missing seeing everybody's faces.
You're lucky enough to be starting some sessions next week, right? Some boot camp sessions.
Yes, some boot camp sessions outdoors.
Yes. Look at all the elements of wellness there. Connection,
I'm loving it.
Outdoors,
sunshine,
movement.
That's it. Exercise, connection.
Everything in one package.
Yeah. It's something different.
So we are definitely looking forward to getting back to some outdoor sessions. It'll be lovely to see everyone's faces. Yes. I don't think I had anything else to share in regards to my personal philosophies. If anything, I've maybe overshared and talked too much.
No. It's good for everybody to hear and get to know us. And these are our own, philosophies and beliefs. And it's different for everybody. So
definitely.
And we're here to help you.
And if anyone wants to share, I guess, in the comments, whether something really hit home for them that they believe as well, or something that they practice, pop it down in the comments and let us know. And as always, if there is something that they want us to cover in Coffee and Conversation, then pop it in the comments. Let us know. We're super keen to continue with these sessions because we are loving it. Awesome.
That's one of my
coffee. Yes. Well, although 1 o'clock, weird time for me to be having coffee, but that's okay.
I have coffee any time before 3.
Yes, after 3 o'clock. Is it like a gremlin?
A gremlin?
Yeah. You know how you're not meant to feed gremlins after midnight?
No, it'll just keep me up too long. So
don't feed Deb coffee after 3.
No, before 3.
All right, Deb, thank you so much for joining us again. Coffee and Conversation. You're welcome. And hopefully, girls, we will see you really soon.
Hopefully. See you soon.
All right. Bye, girls.
Bye.
Bye.